Okay, so I knew I bought, this is a 3/4 inch hose, but coming in over here is a 1/2 inch hose. 1/2 inch hose to the seacock, 1/2 inch hose, and then what the hell? Why is it coming out of here bigger? Why would you do something like that? That's just dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Not me dumb. No, don't you dare. So aggravating. It's behind this bulkhead and then behind that bulkhead. Why would you do that? That's so dumb. All right, I'm just gonna pull that whole damn thing out and just put the correct 1/2 inch hose in and make it right. This is what we're talking about. This is the right hose for this, and it's the right hose to match up with that. You've heard me talk about it before. It's the cascade of fuckery. That's fine. We'll get it done right. Not too bad. Oh, God. How do I hate the let me count the ways. All right. I will argue with that in a minute. I still have to get this hose off. There we go. And I think I'm just basically going to remove this whole length and just run the correct gauge diameter of hose through there. Here's my problem. Hose is too big. Great. I need to cut that off. Then, see this hose going through here that's a 1/2 inch? That should go all the way through. But instead, I get some more hose pipe nonsense. I'm gonna fix that.
Good morning and welcome to part 8,563,429,000 of Robin Gets the Water Maker Running. When I quit yesterday, when you bump your head on things you shouldn't be bumping your head on, that's the universe telling you, take a break, go eat something, call it a day. So I'm back again the next day and I'm going to show you where we are at. The part of the water maker that is in the starboard forward cabin is working great, knock on wood. Actually, the part of the water maker that's in the starboard forward cabin, the main guts of the thing, it's working. The pressure gauge is still not reading, even though we did a little percussive maintenance on it. And so we have to order a new one of those. But that part is working. So funny. If it were me, the seacock and the through hull for the water maker would be right next to the water maker. But for whatever reason, when they added the water maker's 15 feet that way and the seacock is right there. So there's a really long line of hose that they ran. Most of it is this green stuff, which is fine. It's pretty sturdy. I don't think there's an issue with it. The issue, then there were a couple of design problems for the previous iteration of it. Instead of putting in a fitting that fits the proper sized hose, which is that, they put in a fitting that was too big. And then they had to do all of this crazy ass jerry rigging with, or jury rigging. I don't know who Jerry is. This crazy jury rigging of like all of these hoses that, it's just, and I can tell they didn't know what they were doing because they were using a compression fitting, which is the hose clamp, but then they put Teflon underneath that, and Teflon's slippery. So Teflon is pipe thread. These I pulled out yesterday, and then today I need to pull this little piece off, replace it with this piece, and then I installed the correct hose going to there. But what I think I'm actually going to do, and let me move this around. I don't know why I'm yelling. It's probably because I had a big cup of tea. The new seacock that I have put in last year for the water maker. And it also goes along here. I just added this hose because then there's a splitter right here that goes to the saltwater pump at the sink. Yes, I could put that one to that one, but for what I need this for, it's fine. When we decided to unpickle the water maker, this line was existing, and this second seacock was here. And then I just added this line. So this is the really long new line. This line
was the one that used to be all of that garbage. But I still have to put in the new raw water filter. So what I think I'm going to do is, instead of what the previous owner did, nail this piece in a really inaccessible spot with screws that I don't have the bit to, and that everything is rusting. I'm gonna mount it right here, and I'm gonna cut this hose and have it come in here and then go out to this secondary splitter for whatever reason. I'm not sure why it needs another line here, but then today's is add this in here, put that in the green part, and connect it all up. For me, the worst part of the project is when you think you're close to being done and then something happens and the finish line just stretches away from you, and you just have to, and you get really discouraged. And I was really discouraged last night. I just had to stop and call it a day and take a break from it and let my mind process what I'd worked on today as I slept. And then I woke up this morning and I feel mentally sharp and ready to have at it again. I guess what I want to do, 2 marine grade screws for the brackets with a nice Phillips head. And I think I will attach this to the hose and then stick it down here wherever it feels good. If I'm gonna put it right here, that thing is there, I'm gonna cut it right there. More stinky water. 1 hose clamp or 2. I would say if it's a hose under pressure, always 2. Because the rule on the catamaran is if you have 2, you have 1. If you have 1, you have none. However, this isn't under a significant amount of pressure. You've got the water pushing in through the through hull, and that's pressure, but you don't have water being pushed through a pump into a hose under pressure. The pump is pulling the water up in the water maker through this. I'm going to go with 1 hose clamp for this. It's so weird. They created a bunch of weak points by introducing so many lengths of hoses. I've got to get my socket wrench or I'm going to be here all day long. Back with more tools and less patience. Oh, that's right, I was working on that. Don't over tighten them because they will break, but that feels pretty tight. Now the next thing to do is heat up the 2 ends, stick them in here. I hate the heat gun. It's terrifying, but there is no denying the level of utility it has on board. When I'm working on plastic, like these I like to do the last couple of ones with a screwdriver so I don't accidentally roast it. Now if I put this one in next, then all I gotta do is screw them down. And yeah, it's hot. So if that is twisted that way, I need that twisted that way. Some zip strips. I still need that piece. Progress. That makes me happier. That's good. Now we are going to take this 1 long continuous piece of hose and get through. Now we have 1 long piece of hose that is going to hopefully connect into this one once I take that piece off and put the new piece on. Before, the raw water strainer was stuck right here, and it was really hard to see and it was really hard to access, and now it's over here and it's both easy to see and easy to access. Tidy. I'm going to, you wonder why I'm covered in bruises. Maybe not, but that's why. Bruises and tetanus shots. Leave that one there for now. They're called quick connects, and they have a little piece like that. Then you have to put this bad one off, hold that good one on. This little piece from Home Depot was $6, and it didn't even come with a locking clip. Double check that the locking clip is right. And that looks right. Put the new one on all the way in. That feels pretty sturdy. We will of course be testing it. All right. Now next thing to do is get that onto that. I'm concerned, but we'll give it a go. Wait a minute, let me double check. Yep, I do. I always check that I have a hose clamp. Yay, all right. I love my heat gun, even though it scares the crap out of me. We're just gonna leave that to cool because I don't want it to change its mind. That's tight. All right, the moment of truth. Let's open this seacock, and that should let water into there. Then we're gonna open this one. And I kind of expected water to come flowing in. It's underwater, that's underneath, but I can't test it for leaks if it's not gonna come out. Back at it again. Another test of the water maker. This time we're doing some labeling and checking. So counterclockwise is open. So I'm turning it completely counterclockwise to open up the valve. Boost pump. That's running appropriately. Right. I was capping the water, the gauge to try and get it to work. Sorry. I realized after I did it that you might hear it as something else. Where is it leaking? Is it leaking at the green to white or the hose to? You want me to turn this big one on? What? When do I start to close the? No, it's sitting on the ground. If you have to close this, that's what gets that to come up.
Water coming out now. No, stop. Big one. Stop the little one. Something's blocked.